I should have known at the moment he picked up the mic. Wedding toasts are supposed to be sweet, maybe a little awkward, never memorable. But this one? Oh, this one had flavor. The kind of flavor that makes your stomach churn long before the food hits the table. The guy's name was Trevor. He was just a friend, according to my wife. Monica had introduced him to me as her college buddy who helped her get through some rough times. She always said that with a little too much emphasis. I assumed that meant midterms and tequila hangovers. Looking back, I should have asked follow-ups. Anyway, Trevor stood up, raised his glass, and said, with a grin so smug it should have been arrested, "Here's to Monica, and the man she finally settled for." Laughter rippled through the crowd, the kind that people do when they're not sure if it's a joke or a jab. Monica threw her head back and laughed like she was auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Me? I just smiled, because I didn't want to be that guy. You know, the buzzkill groom who makes a scene at his own wedding. He kept going. She always said she wanted someone dependable, someone safe. Well, looks like she got what she wanted. Then he winked at her. Not me. Her. My best man leaned over and whispered, "What the hell was that?" I shrugged. College humor, I muttered. But inside, I stored that moment away like a dry match. I didn't know what it would ignite yet, but I knew I'd be striking it eventually. Fast forward 6 years. 6 years of married life. A house with a white fence. A dog named Milo. 2 toothbrushes in the same cup and matching coffee mugs that said, "Mrs. Always Right" and "Mr. Good Enough." I was never jealous. Not even when Trevor popped up every couple months with his cologne that smelled like a lawsuit and those shoulder claps that bordered on physical therapy. He was just around. Too often, but never long enough to justify suspicion. Or maybe I just didn't want to connect the dots yet. Until the photo. It wasn't even hidden. That's the part that really got me. I was looking for a charger in her purse while she was in the shower. Yes, I know, not the most respectful thing, but we shared everything, right? Right. Except apparently passwords, loyalty, and basic human decency. Her phone lit up. I glanced. It was a message from Trevor. "Missed last night already. That dress should be illegal." I didn't open it. I didn't need to. My stomach tightened like a rope around a sinking anchor. My fingers moved without me asking. I went to her gallery. The most recent photo was of Trevor, shirtless, sitting on our couch, holding our dog. Milo was smiling. So was Trevor. And Monica? In the mirror behind them, wrapped in a towel, holding the phone. I put the phone back. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. I didn't throw it in the toilet or text him back something colorful. I just smiled. Because now the match was dry, and I was ready to strike it. I didn't say a word that night. Not during dinner. Not when we watched that insufferable reality show she loved. Not even when she reached over and rested her hand on my leg like nothing was off. Like she hadn't just turned our living room into a secondhand bachelor pad. I nodded along to her small talk. Made a joke about the contestant with the bad spray tan. Laughed at all the right times. Oscar-worthy, really. Because here's the thing. When your gut tells you something's off, believe it. When your gut hands you a loaded truth wrapped in pixelated evidence, don't react. Observe. You only get one chance at a first move. So I made mine. The next day, I left for work early. Earlier than usual. Kissed her on the cheek like always. Even brought her coffee to the bed. "You're sweet," she mumbled, eyes barely open. "Safe?" I replied, with a smile she didn't catch. Then I drove 3 blocks and parked. I waited. 27 minutes later, a black Audi pulled into my driveway. Trevor. Of course it was Trevor. He didn't knock. He used the side gate. My side gate. You ever felt rage bubble so deep inside you that it doesn't burn, it chills? That was me. I didn't blink. Just watched. Just stored it. I took a photo. Not of him. Of the license plate. That was for later. I went to work, gave a presentation on quarterly growth, nodded through a dozen meetings. Nobody knew I was watching my marriage rot in real time. That night, I made dinner. Her favorite, garlic shrimp pasta. She twirled it on her fork and smiled. "You're spoiling me." "You deserve it," I said. She raised an eyebrow. "Feeling sentimental?" "Something like that." After she went to bed, I got to work. I didn't sleep. I scanned everything, credit card statements, phone records, cloud backups. Turns out, the woman I married had the cyber hygiene of a raccoon with a laptop. Her passwords were all tied to her childhood dog. It didn't take much. Messages, emails, calendar events, hotel bookings. She wasn't just having an affair. She scheduled it. Thursday brunch, Pilates with Danny. Except Danny lives in Wisconsin now. Friday afternoon, client lunch. Except the receipt said double whiskey neat. 2x. At a steakhouse we never go to. So I made a spreadsheet. Not because I needed to. Because it felt good. Organized betrayal, color-coded and time-stamped. The next morning, I printed one single page. Then I left it in her car. Passenger seat. Stuck under her sunglasses. No note. No explanation. Just a spreadsheet titled, I see you. She didn't say anything that night. No confession. No apology. No accusatory, how dare you go through my stuff. Just silence. Which, for Monica, was louder than any scream. She cooked dinner, barely touched it. She watched TV, didn't laugh. She crawled into bed and lay still. But her breathing? All over the place. Shallow. Panicked. Like a woman waiting for a bomb she couldn't find. And I slept better than I had in months. The next day, I left another page. Slipped into her purse like a love note. This one had dates, times, locations. Not even all of them. Just enough to remind her, you are not in control here. That afternoon, she texted me, Monica, we need to talk tonight. I let her sweat until dinner. She sat across from me, face pale, eyes scanning me like I might pull a wiretap out of my ear. Are you spying on me? She finally asked. I took a sip of water. I don't need to spy. You're not exactly subtle. You went through my stuff. I nodded. You went through our vows. That shut her up. Moment of silence for the hypocrisy. She crossed her arms. You don't understand. Trevor and I, we have history. It got complicated, but it didn't mean anything. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't mean anything? Her voice sharpened. It wasn't love. It was convenience. Like Amazon Prime, I said. Except I didn't get 2 days shipping. Just a broken home. She flinched. Good. Then she tried the classic pivot. We've been distant lately. You don't touch me the same way. You're always working. You're safe, I said, locking eyes with her. She froze. The word hung there like smoke in a room full of mirrors. You were bored, Monica. And you thought I'd never notice. You thought I was too predictable, too calm, too stupid to catch on. I never said stupid. No, I said, leaning forward. You just acted like it. She pushed back from the table. What now, then? You want a divorce? I smiled. Oh, we're not there yet. You want me to grovel? Beg? No, I said. I want you to wonder. I want you to wake up every day not knowing what I've done or what I'm about to do. That's when it hit her. This wasn't an argument. It was the start of a war. And the worst kind? The kind where only one person knows the battlefield already exists. You can learn a lot from watching people not talk. Monica didn't bring Trevor up again, which told me two things. She was still seeing him. She assumed I didn't know everything. And that was perfect. Because a woman who thinks she still has leverage, she starts slipping. Fast. That Friday, I told her I had a team dinner at work. I even wore cologne. She raised an eyebrow. You're going out? Yeah, I said casual. You know how it is. Obligations. She smiled, tight-lipped, but I could see it behind her eyes. The suspicion, the calculation. Which is hilarious. Because I wasn't going to dinner. I was going to Trevor's condo. Not alone. With a private investigator. Now before you think I went full noir and hired some trenchcoat cliché, let me clear that up. Her name's Dana. Mid-40s. Wears hoodies, swears like a sailor, carries a camera with better zoom than most satellites. Dana's seen it all. She once told me she caught a woman cheating with her husband's father at a funeral. So yeah, she was perfect. I hired Dana 2 weeks ago, right after the first Trevor text. She'd been tailing Monica ever since. Her schedule, her meetings, even the extra 47 minutes she spent shopping in an alley behind a wine bar. Dana kept receipts. Now it was time to use them. Trevor's condo was predictable. Flashy car in the garage, elevator key fob, fake art on the walls. Dana had already mapped the building. We weren't going in, we were watching. From across the street. There's something surreal about watching your wife knock on another man's door while you sip lukewarm gas station coffee. Dana zoomed in. Click. She held up the camera for me to see. Monica, standing outside Trevor's place, checking her reflection in the glass. Fluffing her hair. Smiling. Like it was date night. Another click. Trevor answered the door. Same tight black shirt. Of course. She kissed his cheek, walked in. Door shut. I took a breath. Dana lowered the camera. You good? I'm excellent, I said. Because see, This wasn't about catching them. I already had that. I didn't need grainy night vision proof of Monica's moral collapse. What I needed was insurance. I went home that night and uploaded everything. Screenshots, surveillance, GPS logs. Then I did something unexpected. I printed 5 photos. Just 5. One for Monica's sister. One for her mother. One for her boss, who, by the way, had written a glowing character reference for our mortgage application. One for her book club, which, ironically, hadn't discussed a book in 6 months. And the 5th? That one I hand-delivered to Trevor's girlfriend. Did I forget to mention her? Oh yeah, her name's Rachel. I found her through a tagged photo on Trevor's birthday. She wasn't hard to track down, had a professional website, real estate agent. Her Instagram was all yoga poses and inspirational quotes like, "Trust the universe." So I paid the universe a visit. Knocked on her door the next morning. She answered in sweats, holding a smoothie. "Can I help you?" she asked, clearly expecting a sales pitch or someone trying to convert her to kale-based religion. "Yeah," I said, holding up the envelope. "This is for you. I think you'll want to read it alone." She looked at it, confused. "Who are you?" "Someone whose wife made the same mistake you're about to forgive." I walked away. Didn't look back. That afternoon, Monica came home early, which was interesting, considering she was working late. She slammed her purse down hard enough to shake the keys off the hook. "Did you go to Rachel's?" she hissed. I didn't look up from my laptop. "You'll need to be more specific." "Don't play dumb, Adam." "Trevor's girlfriend." "Did you tell her something?" I met her eyes. Calm. Measured. "Did I tell Rachel that her boyfriend is sleeping with my wife?" "Yes." She went pale. "You had no right." "I had every right," I said, standing now. "You made a mess. I'm just showing people the stains." "You've ruined everything," she whispered. "No," I said. "You ruined everything. I just developed the film." She blinked. Her bottom lip trembled. For a moment, I thought she might cry. Instead, she said, "So what now? You want a divorce?" I smiled. That smile again. "Not yet." "Why not? Why drag this out?" "Because dragging it out is the fun part," I said. "Because while you were playing house with Trevor, I was rewriting the deed." "What?" "I bought you out of the house last month. Used your forged signature. You were too busy at your wine club to notice. Legally speaking, you don't live here anymore." She staggered back like I'd hit her. "That's illegal." "No, Monica. What you did is illegal. What I did is paperwork." I opened a drawer and pulled out a folder. Her name was on the front. Inside, a copy of her text messages, the video of her and Trevor leaving a hotel, and a friendly letter from my lawyer, full of phrases like asset forfeiture and adultery clause and custody realignment. She didn't take the folder, just stared at it like it had teeth. "You can't do this," she said softly. I already did. I walked past her, stopped at the doorway, looked back. "Oh, and Monica?" "What?" "Trevor's girlfriend says hi." The next morning, I found Monica standing in the kitchen like she was waiting for the universe to hit undo. Hair frizzed, makeup half-smeared, still in yesterday's dress, like she forgot to hit save on her life before it crashed. I didn't say good morning. She didn't ask how I slept. Instead, she stared at me across the kitchen island like I was a ghost who'd walked through the front door, carrying consequences. "You can't just evict me." "I didn't," I said. "I bought you out. You signed it." She snorted, a nervous, bitter laugh. "You forged my signature." "Did I?" I sipped my coffee. "That's a big accusation. You sure you want to make it? Because the last time I checked, you had trouble remembering what city you were in when you booked that room with Trevor." Her nostrils flared. "You think this is funny?" "No. I think it's justice. The humor's just a bonus." She paced the room now, barefoot, muttering under her breath. "That used to be cute. The quirky habit of a woman who couldn't sit still when stressed. Now, it was just noise." "You don't understand what I've been going through," she said, finally. "This marriage wasn't working. I felt invisible. Monica, I planned our anniversary dinner while you were booking a double suite at the Fairmont. I was lost." "No," I interrupted. "You were greedy. There's a difference. Lost people ask for directions. Greedy people just grab everything and hope no one notices." Silence. She picked up her coffee and stared into it like the grounds might give her a better future if she just focused hard enough. Then she played the card I knew was coming. "What are people going to say, Adam?" "My family, my coworkers." "Oh, your coworkers know," I said, cutting in. "In fact, your boss replied to my email this morning. Very supportive. Said he'd pray for you. She looked like I'd slapped her. And your sister? She actually thanked me. Said she always knew something was off. Turns out loyalty doesn't run in your family either. Just denial. You're ruining my life, she whispered. No, I said, stepping closer. I'm exposing it. She backed up, bumping into the fridge. The magnets rattled. Our old vacation photos stared back at us like witnesses. Where am I supposed to go? She said finally, voice small. Anywhere but here, I said. You've got 72 hours. You're kicking me out of my own house. Our house, I corrected. And now just my house. Title transfers already filed. Don't worry, I left you the couch in storage. That afternoon, she left. Not with a bang, not with a scream. Just a quiet suitcase roll and the bitter perfume of a woman who'd finally run out of cards to play. But the story wasn't over. Because Trevor? Oh, Trevor had some lessons coming too. See, the thing about people like him, they mistake being tolerated for being respected. They walk into your life like it's a showroom, point at what they want, and assume no one's watching. But I was. I knew about the corporate embezzlement. Funny thing, Trevor's job involved managing regional budgets for a real estate firm. He'd been reallocating funds for months. Just little things. Travel stipends. Phony consulting fees. A few grand here and there, billed to shell companies with names like Urban Edge Dynamics. I know because I created Urban Edge Dynamics 6 weeks ago. It cost $89 and a few hours of paperwork. Trevor billed them 3 times. I printed the invoices, highlighted the payments, and dropped them in a manila envelope along with a note. When you steal from strangers, it's fraud. When you steal from me, it's personal. Then I mailed it. Not to Trevor. To his company's ethics board. The fallout took 3 days. He was suspended pending investigation. I know because Rachel texted me. Guess who's getting audited? Man detective. She even sent a gif of popcorn. We're not friends, but grief makes strange pen pals. Monica called me 2 nights later. Private number. I picked up because I knew she'd hate that I answered on the first ring. Adam, her voice was tired. No makeup now. No games. Hey there, I said. How's your boy toy? Still giving TED Talks in unemployment lines. I get it, okay? She snapped. You're mad. You're hurt. But this is cruel. Cruel? I echoed. You publicly humiliated me at our wedding. Remember Trevor's toast? The man she finally settled for? That was your inside joke. I was the joke. Silence. You want to call me cruel now because I didn't take it lying down? I never meant for it to go this far. Neither did I said. But here we are. She was quiet for a long time. Then, softly, what happens now? I let the silence stretch. Then I answered. Now? You rebuild. From scratch. Like I had to. Click. No rage. No gloating. Just closure. But this isn't the end. Not yet. The real ending? That's still brewing. Because what she doesn't know, what no one suspects, is that this whole thing was only Act 1. Revenge isn't a single act. It's a series of movements. Like a symphony. One key played too early and the whole song collapses. But when every note lands, exactly when it's meant to, it's unforgettable. Monica was flailing now. She'd moved into some short-term rental uptown. One of those modern glass boxes with souls sold separately stamped on the lease. Trevor? Off the grid. Fired. Girlfriend gone. Apartment emptied. He was likely halfway to Scottsdale, blaming everyone but himself. Classic. But I wasn't done. Not yet. Because there was one person left who still needed to see it. Monica. Not the woman playing victim. Not the one sniffing around sympathy from her Pilates group. I wanted her to see the whole picture. Every wire, every screw, every domino she knocked over. So I threw a party. Well, technically she threw it. She just didn't know it yet. Here's how it worked. I rented out a private lounge, same place we had our engagement party. Classy upscale. White linens, warm lighting, waiters in black vests, and polite indifference. Invites went out via her email. I kept the guest list tight. Family, close friends, mutual acquaintances. The ones who always played Switzerland when things got rocky. And one special guest. A local podcast host named Delaney Wren. She runs a show called The Second Glance. True stories. Real people. Very popular among bored millennials and bitter divorcees. I sent her an anonymous tip with a highlight reel of Monica's greatest hits, including a few quotes from Trevor's deleted socials. She replied in under 30 minutes. This is wild. Would love to cover it. Perfect. The theme of the event? A night to celebrate second chances. Weirdly vague. Deeply ironic. I sent Monica a text the night before. Where's something nice? 7 p.m. 244 Lexington. It's important. She called twice. I didn't answer. She texted back. Is this some ambush? Because I'm not playing games anymore. No reply. Let her wonder. Let her sweat. The next evening, I arrived first. Black suit. No tie. Calm as a chessboard. Guests trickled in. Some curious, some cautious. They knew something was off, but no one wanted to say it out loud. That's how polite people handle awkward truths, with hors d'oeuvres and speculation. And then she walked in. Monica. Dark green dress. Heels a little too high. The kind of outfit you wear when you need to win a room back. She froze at the door, looked around, saw familiar faces, and then saw me. Adam, she said, crossing the room quickly. What is this? A party, I said. For you. Her smile wavered. What? I motioned toward the bar. Drink. I don't want to drink. I want answers. They're coming, I said. You just have to listen. That's when the screen lowered. Projector. Lights dimmed. At first, nothing but soft music. Then photos. A slideshow. Monica and me, early years. Birthdays. Anniversaries. Laughing, holding hands. The version of us she left behind. Then a shift. Newer photos. Screenshots. Emails. Hotel bookings. A calendar entry. Lunch, tea, at the Langford. Same time as our last couples therapy appointment. She gasped. Guests started whispering. Then came the audio. A short clip, expertly cleaned up by a friend of mine in sound production. Monica's voice, recorded from her own phone backup. He's too safe. Too predictable. It's like being married to a thermostat. More whispers. Some heads turned away. Some didn't. I turned to her. This is what you said, Monica. This is who you became. Stop it, she said, voice tight. Why? You wanted to feel something, remember? Well, this is it. She grabbed my arm. Adam, please. They don't need to see this. No, I said, pulling away. You needed to. I nodded to the bartender. Lights up. Music back. Screen vanished. Silence. Then Delaney stepped forward. Wow, she said, voice clear and confident. That was eye-opening. Thanks to everyone for coming. We're recording a follow-up episode this week called When the Villain Hosts the Wedding. Stay tuned. Monica's face drained of color. You had a podcast host here? She whispered. No, I said. You did. You're humiliating me, she said, barely audible. I leaned in. No, Monica. You did that. With every lie, every night out, every he just gets me you whispered into another man's shirt. She was shaking now. Not from rage. From realization. You're a monster, she spat. I smiled. No, I'm a mirror. She turned and left, heels cracking against the marble like gunshots. Some guests followed. Some stayed. The room shifted. Not quite a party anymore. More like the last chapter of a novel nobody expected to end with applause. Delaney came over. That was brutal, she said. She deserved every frame. Got a title for your side of the story? I thought for a moment. Then I said, The Toast. She smiled. Clever. Fitting. Because when Trevor raised that glass years ago and called me the man she settled for, he was half right. She did settle. But I didn't. Not then. Not now. The day after the party, Monica didn't text me. She didn't call. She didn't show up at the house trying to plead her case. What she did do was vanish. Deleted her Instagram. Disabled her LinkedIn. Her friends posted vague, thinking of you, stay strong stories with aesthetic rain gifs and Bible quotes. I didn't feel sorry for her. In fact, I finally felt something else. Stillness. Not relief. Not euphoria. Just the peace of knowing I'd finished what I started. That the story of us, the one she kept rewriting behind my back, was now published, footnotes and all. Trevor tried calling me once. Blocked. Then again from a different number. Left a voicemail. Look man, I get it. You won. Okay. You got your revenge. You're better than this. I didn't respond. The man really thought he could cheat with someone's wife and lecture them about sportsmanship after getting benched. Meanwhile, Delaney's podcast aired a week later, titled The Toast, a story of marriage, betrayal, and a man who refused to play dead. It blew up. Over 400,000 downloads in the first 72 hours. Comments poured in. This guy didn't just walk away. He walked through the fire and built a house on the ashes. A woman cheated and still expected flowers. Classic. I hope she listens to this every night before bed. Funny thing, I didn't even tell Delaney half of what I had. I gave her the PG-13 version. She didn't need to know about my final move. Because that part? That was personal. Weeks passed. Life returned to its regular, quiet rhythm. I went back to work. I rejoined my morning gym class, which I had quietly ghosted when all this began. Even got a new coffee maker. Small things. Normal things. Then came the envelope. Handwritten. No return address. My name on the front in ink I recognized. Hers. I opened it slowly. No apology inside. Just a folded sheet of paper with one sentence. Was any of it ever real? I read it 3 times. Folded it again. Then threw it in the fire pit with the old wedding photos I'd kept in the back of my closet. The answer was simple. Yes. For me it was. And that's what made everything else so damn hollow. A few friends reached out. Some of them cautiously. People never know what to say to a man whose wife blew up his life and got publicly shamed for it. My favorite message came from Monica's cousin, Julia. You always were too good for her. Everyone knew it. We just didn't think you'd be the one to say it out loud. Funny how the truth makes people bold after it's too late to matter. I wasn't planning on it. The last move. But then she pushed. You see, Monica filed a lawsuit. Slander. Defamation. Emotional distress. Claimed I weaponized her private life for public spectacle. That I exploited personal material with the intention of humiliating her. Which is rich, considering she'd already done that part herself. But here's the thing. She didn't realize who she was playing with anymore. She thought I was still the man who used to fold her laundry and walk on eggshells when she came home in a mood. She didn't realize that man was gone. I called my lawyer. We prepared a response. And then, I made a call of my own. Not to her. Not to Trevor. To someone else. Franklin Moore. Retired tech consultant. Monica's ex-boss. Mid-50s. Married. 2 kids. Used to call Monica a rising star in meetings. I sent him a copy of one of her emails. Subject line, Cancun retreat, private itinerary. One of many messages Monica had sent to Trevor from her work account. Guess who else was blind copied? Franklin. Guess who was definitely not her husband? Also Franklin. 2 affairs. 1 job. 1 company laptop. Franklin reached out to me less than 24 hours later. He sounded nervous. Look, Adam. Can we agree that neither of us wants this to go further? I stayed quiet. He sighed. Name your number. I didn't answer. Because I didn't want money. I wanted silence. 1 week later, Monica dropped the suit. No fanfare. No explanation. Just a withdrawal. It wasn't victory that I felt. It was closure. The kind you only earn when you walk through the ruins, not around them. 6 months later, I got invited to a wedding. Not just any wedding, Trevor's. To someone new. A woman named Alyssa. Never met her. Never will. But you better believe I RSVP'd. Didn't go, of course. I just sent a card. Plain white. No glitter. No flourish. Inside it said, wishing you a marriage built on honesty and respect. Just kidding. Enjoy the rerun. AK. And that was that. I don't think about Monica much anymore. Sometimes I pass the restaurant where we had our first date. Or catch a rerun of that show she used to binge. The one she claimed was too smart for me. It used to sting. Now, it just feels like a life that belonged to someone else. And me? I'm good. Better than good, honestly. Not because I burned her life down, but because I rebuilt mine. Brick by honest brick. And every once in a while, I'll raise a glass. To the woman who underestimated me. To the man I almost became. To the truth. To the toast that started it all. And most of all, to never being safe again.